So actually, I think that there can be quite many occasions when you are reading those files and you don't know actually whether they're true or not.
Of course.
So what's your advice? How should we read it?
The same as you would if a government official, which is what these are, is telling you something. You don't automatically believe it. You question anything coming from a government official, particularly when it's on a sensitive issue. On a sensitive issue, people lie a lot, as we all know, if we're honest. So that you have to be very careful about what you believe.
And when the war against Wikileaks started, when Wikileaks was kicked out by Amazon and PayPal and so on, I think it was quite a lesson for other media that the internet depends very much on privately held companies, so they can just decide whether they will be working with you or not. And what do you think? What media should learn about this?
I think they should be very wary and support lawsuits now against PayPal, American Express, MasterCard, and all the rest, and the Bank of America, and sue them. I think that's the next step. So the courts can get actively involved in the defense of the First Amendment, which is the right of a free press to publish. Whether you like it or not, they have a right to publish. They have a right to finance themselves normally. It would be as though the New York Times was stopped from using the U.S. mails. You know, it's the same thing, because that's how the money to finance these organizations is achieved. WikiLeaks was badly hurt by the finance, very badly hurt by this attack on the finance, and I think a lot of American journalists, including the New York Times, defend WikiLeaks against that, because it's if they can attack WikiLeaks, they can attack anyone this way. So it's very dangerous.
Yeah, but do you think it's possible to say that PayPal or MasterCard has an obligation?
Of course. They sign an agreement to vendor and to act financially in the public interest in a public space. They use the public airways to treat their business as a business. However, because of that, the location of what they do, they're obliged to serve the public interest in some respects. And one of them would be without political bias, without political interference. This is a direct attack on freedom of the press. I mean, it didn't happen 100 years ago because we didn't have PayPal. But now we have PayPal, and it acts in much the same way as money. And nobody's going to tell you you can't use certain kinds of money to pay for something. So it's the same kind of idea. But I think there will be lawsuits, there's going to be litigation, and I suspect that a lot of newspapers will join WikiLeaks and others in that litigation.
So the WikiLeaks will be suing those companies?
It may very well do. Certainly that's under inspection right now.
Yeah, but also the United States government is about to sue WikiLeaks for their...
They don't have a case. So nobody's worried about it. If the State Department last week said they could find no connection between Bradley Manning and WikiLeaks. No connection whatsoever. So they dropped the inspection. Now the problem they have is how do they prosecute Bradley Manning? That's their problem. But similarly, the treasonous allegations against WikiLeaks cannot be proven because of the First Amendment. And they recognize that. If you talk to people in the State Department, they're very frustrated because they can't find a legal mechanism to attack WikiLeaks, to attack a foreign company, a foreign group that treats in receipt of material from the United States. They didn't request it. It just arrives, just like it does now, still arriving. Every day more.